Hello everyone, welcome to a World of Warships Blitz video. Today's video is the first video in a long time. So I haven't been playing much World of Warships Blitz, so people have probably wondered why I stepped away from the channel. I think it's a combination of factors. I think doing a video a day was pretty aggressive, and I think I got a little bit burned out, and I also took a bit of a break from the game for a while. I think the Russian battleships were probably, well, they were a grind, and probably a little bit too much of a grind for me, and that sort of helped the feelings of feeling well, a little bit burned out. So anyway, we're just popping back in to say hello, and I think I'll probably have to work out a different schedule rather than daily videos, just because everything else going on in my life means that I'm not going to be able to achieve that. Also, I'll have to say that I did explore some other mobile games. I had a look at various mobile role-playing games and decided that all of them were basically fairly rubbish. To my shame, I played some Raid Shadow Legends, which installing the game certainly stopped the plethora of adverts for the game. I mean, that was a bonus. But if you have any complaints about World of Warships Blitz and the cost structure and the loot boxes, or anything else, then I suggest that you play something like Raid Shadow Legends to understand what a game that is, a loot box driven game with a nasty grinders. So the game, well, this game takes a while to get going, so I might as well talk about my experiences. Number one, the grind is incredible. So it's exponential. So as you go up through the levels, until you reach a point where you're starting to do calculations to work out how much of your life you'd have to spend to grind the game. And the grind isn't particularly enjoyable. Basically, it's short battles of 3 stages, and basically you just watch it play out in front of you. There's no sort of immersion. You know, here, every movement of these ships you're in control of, and here I am. I'm heading towards the edge of the zone, haven't spotted anything yet, which is why I'm going on about other games that I've played. And yeah, that's 100% my decision. I'm not watching little characters run around on the screen. So the models are nice in Raid Shadow Legends, but the models in the battles are pretty basic. So yeah. The other thing is that the prices, if you think the prices for ships in World of Warships Blitz are not great, yeah, the sort of price they put on things in that game is just, it's just incredible. And finally, you know, quite apart from these, obviously Raid Shadow Legends is a fantasy game, so there is no sense of realism. However, I probably would have to say that the game is, I would probably estimate 98% sexist. And by that I mean that the models, it's not the bikini-clad models that for the females. It is, if you look down at every female, apart from 2 models that I could find, so there are 400 characters in the game apparently, assuming that half of them are female. There are 2 that I could find that weren't in heels. So to the point where even some of the flying characters had heels, which is interesting because it's like the game designers assumed that women had bones sticking out the bottom of their feet. But anyway, that was educational to say the least. So yeah, I think I've basically put that one in the bag, and yeah, had my experience, and I don't know if I'm a better person for it or not. Anyway, that has explained what has been going on. So well, some of what's been going on, being busy was probably a major part of it. Anyway, kind of, you know, I can't resist a good Blitz Royale battle. Here we are. We have had an extremely good run. We have picked up more buffs than I've ever picked up in any ship before. So this is the Perth, if I didn't say it up the front. The Commonwealth Tier 6 cruiser, which I've got to say I quite like. It's very much like a Leander. It has shorter smoke, so you've got to play it very differently. There are things you can do in a Leander that you cannot do in this. But this has HE. That has the best concealment, and certainly with 2 concealment buffs picked up in the course of this battle, I would probably say this is the best concealed cruiser in the game, probably ever. So anyway, we are heading towards another buff, and we are threading our way in between these rather large battleships. So there's a Fuso, there's a Black Bayern, there's a lot of Black Bayerns in this game, and all we're trying to do is just keep ourselves moving, So we have we have three. We have the maximum number of traverse mods. Not that it seems to make much difference because, you know, it's a cruiser still. It's not like it's a British destroyer. But yeah, and the improved concealment. And you can see the concealment circle in the mini-map. It's absolutely tiny, especially compared to the gun. So here we are. We're going to avoid getting too close to battleships because, yeah, although this has 3 smoke, the smoke are extremely short-ranged, and all they are there to do, they sort of take the edge off things. They're not fire from smoke type of situation, which you could do, let's say, in the Belfast. Here we have our first bad guy, the Eagle. Oh, I might regret this, but we'll get some torpedoes off. So we slow down, get them away. Getting a bit hammered by that Bayern, but obviously the smoke. We'll be facing away from him. Out go the torpedoes. We've cooked off the sonar. Let's see what we got. Can't see anything. We'll just basically let him have it. And this is where the Perth is fantastic, because if those final ships are destroyers, you got it made. Well, apart from the fact that the Perth hasn't got great armour, and if the final ship is, let's say, a German destroyer, you might find that his gunfire is actually, you know, pretty effective. Not completely effective. There goes our first kill. And here comes the Black Bayern, who's, I'm assuming, taken some of my torpedoes, because I've got torpedo markers up the top. I was busy with the Eagle at the time, and there goes the second. So I rather stupidly fire off my heel, sort of fire instinct, because the health bar was basically 1 heal away from full, and then of course this happens. So yeah, whoops. There's the Fuso. He is, well, he's not something I really want to trifle with. Although his guns are fairly low caliber at 12-inch from memory, there's an awful lot of them, and yeah. So we basically make a run for it. And that is how you play sort of the agile cruisers in this type of Blitz Royale battle, is you try and let the other team members knock each other out. There's a Gremiashi. I haven't played the Gremiashi, so that's one of the ships that sort of came out about the time that I stepped away from doing videos. So I haven't even played it on the press account, which I'll have to admit to. I'm a bit curious, but I have heard that its guns rotate very slowly, which means that it'll probably fall into the Lenin category of, is it a gunboat or a torpedo boat? The Leningrad, which is the tier 7, which I sort of struggle with personally. Okay, so here we are. No one spotted us. Our detection circle is reset. We've got our torpedoes going. We take the odd shot to see how it goes. Of course, which is the wrong thing to do, because I really could have used those torpedoes about now. But as it turns out, there's another option here. Off goes the smoke. Don't need the sonar. Smoke's gone, and we're going to try and open up the distance now. I suspect, oops, his guns are facing, so basically he's obviously come off another fight, and he's got his front guns facing to the right and his back guns facing to the rear, and normally that would be a real problem for the Bayern or this New Mexico, is it? Yeah, that's pretty much the ideal situation. Yeah, taking on me and my little Perth, because that means that he's, yeah. Anyway, we get some decent shot hits in on him, get him flooded, get him burning, and that's probably going to be fatal. So we're going to try and smooth around this island, and we do want to get that health because, oh, well, because of things like this. So I'm getting fired at from the rear, off go the torpedoes. Off goes the smoke, which probably saves me from being deleted at this point. It's long enough to get me inside the capture zone. I mean, not the capture zone, the get the heel. 3 torpedoes hit, adding to my score, but not really doing much damage. And I am making a run for it. So here you can see we jinx back and forth to try and throw off his aim. So he's obviously got some stuff to think about because he's heading directly towards the edge, and that's probably not going to be particularly helpful for him. So here comes our Grimiashi. So he's the guy, I'm assuming, that took down the black bayoon before, or the Fuso, I can't remember. There's been a Grimiashi that does pretty good performance out there, and certainly on the end screen he shows up pretty well. So a bit of a spoiler there. He's probably going to pop around the side of the island. I'm detected. That's got to be the Grimiashi. He's detected soon after because my detection's pretty good. He fires his torpedoes early. We've already gone on the reverse, which means, yeah, those torpedoes are probably going to miss, and they do. Now, fortunately for me, he's got centerline mounted torpedoes, which means that he doesn't have torpedoes out the other side of his boat. What he's trying to do is outturn my guns, but unfortunately for him, I don't have centerline mounted torpedoes, and that is an easy kill. So, yeah, whoops. So just like I'm extremely vulnerable against battleships, he is extremely vulnerable against a ship like the Perth. So here we are, this battleship. Now his trajectory is pretty clear. Now he's the last ship left alive. He's got to drive straight away from the impending storm. If he does too much dodging, he's probably going to get caught in it. So we're trying to maintain enough off angle, enough turn that we're a difficult target. Oh, and we're going to try and outturn his guns. And then we're going to put the alternative. We're going to drive ourselves off to the right there. See if we can get some shots out before he clobbers us, because it'll probably only need one main battery hit. I'm heading towards the edge of the zone. Let's hope the torpedoes does the trick, and there you go. A nice win for the Perth. Oh, look at that concealment buff over there. That would have been nice to get. Yeah, so the Perth is probably, does struggle in random battles, mainly because the smoke doesn't have the period of time required for it to do stuff within the smoke. The smoke's more of a sort of crisis management tool. So you have to play it a bit more at a distance, so you can't play it quite as aggressively as Leander. But in Blitz Royale, that extremely good agility, that extremely good concealment, the fact that it has good guns with HE and reasonably quick loading torpedoes means that it's, 24 torpedo hits says it all. So yeah, 118,000 damage in the Perth Blitz Royale. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.